All right, here we go. All right, yeah, here we go. We'll get started here in a minute. Let's get this connection going. Yep. All right. All right, we're gonna do some talking today, man. We're gonna do some talking because we had some disappointing performances last night. Well, I won't say performances. You know, we did have some good ones, but when we just looking at particular fighters doing better than they should have, that's what we're gonna talk about. We got to talk about that. So I give a few minutes for y'all to come in here, and we can talk. I mean, these fights were better than the previous weekends, but still, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. These girls could have did better. Not everybody, that you know. Roger, what's going on, man? So yeah, give me a few minutes here, then we'll get started. So yeah, all right, you got Marcus in here. Got Marcus and Roger in here so far. We're gonna talk about these weekend fights and talk about what's coming up. You know, I'm gonna give you my I already gave you my thoughts on Felicia Spencer versus Danielle Wolf, but you know I gotta know y'all's. Like we gotta know. We gotta know like what's the purpose of this featherweight fight, man? What's the purpose of it? All right, so let's get started in about another minute. Ernest Richardson, what's going on? Ernest said, disappointing night last night. Yeah, 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 it was. Robert Henry, what's going on? Not as bad as the previous weekend, but almost is just as bad. Almost just as bad because these ladies just didn't rise to the occasion. They didn't take full advantage of what they should have. So yeah, but yeah, we got enough people in here now. You know, we got a few people. Let's go ahead and get started. So yeah, man, welcome back to another live stream, y'all. Let's talk about these fights this past weekend. You know, I got a few things I just want to talk about. I will be on here for just like an hour, maybe like till 8:30 tops. I know I always say that and wind up being on here for like 5 hours, but I'm gonna switch it up today, man. I'm gonna try to be off of here by 8:20 or 8:30. 8:20 or 8:30. I'm gonna be up out of here. But yeah, let's talk about these performances last night. Alexis Davis versus Abina Mazo. We're gonna go back and just talk about Sabine Amazo, her growth as a young fighter. I want to talk about her, and how some people feel about her. They kind of been putting her performance down as far as her just being on the way out already, which I disagree with. And then we'll talk Montana De La Rosa versus Myra Buena Silva. Bad execution, man. Bad execution on both fighters. I'm just being real. Then let's talk about Felicia Spencer versus Danielle Wolf, man. Like, we'll talk a little bit about that. I want to know some of y'all's thoughts in the comment section, because I gave y'all mine. But there's just so many questions about that fight, right? Then, of course, last but not least, Whaley versus Rose Namajunas. Got to talk about that fight. Still got to talk about that fight. I know it's not finalized, but how close are we? And is it going to be the main event? Hopefully, it'll be the main event, y'all. But yeah, let's go back here and get started. Like Ernest said, man, it was a disappointing night, man. Like, I mean, shout out to Alexis Davis. She did what she had to do to win the fight. She's really the only one that came to show up. That's why I didn't say everybody did bad. Like, Alexis Davis, she really came to fight. She came to win. But I feel like everybody else just came to step into the octagon, but didn't really like try to execute anything, Marcus Bell said, I think we need to, let me see. Oh, I think some of these people need to accept that Montana is a C-level fighter. Unfortunately, man, yes, she is. She's gonna be that way until she finds a way to accept she needs to really accept the fact that she has to evolve in a fight and adapt to a situation. You can't always result to grappling and wrestling, Not as bad as Sarah Morris versus Melo. Nah, no fight was as bad as that. That fight, you see that fight cost both of them their contracts, right? They're not getting re-signed. That's for real. I don't know if Sarah Morris or Vanessa Melo can earn their way back in after that fight. But yeah, man, all right. I picked Sabine Amazo to win this fight. I felt like she just had the youth on her side. She had the weapons to win this fight. I didn't really think the weight was going to be a problem. I don't know if it was a problem in this fight. I think it was just she was dealing with a much more experienced fighter in there. And Alexis Davis moving back up to 135 really was the key for Alexis Davis. Like, she moved down to flyweight, jumped into the rankings there, but I think deep down she knew that she was a natural bantamweight, especially at 36, and that's what really showed up. Her strength, the right weight, and just her overall well-roundedness in this fight. Sabine Amazo, I picked her because I said, yeah, look, she's got the striking. She has the type of striking that could be effective against Alexis Davis, who has sometimes little to no defense. Let's be honest. Alexis Davis is experienced. She's solid on the ground. Her grappling skills are good. She's strong. But when it comes to trading and banging, like, she gets hit. Alexis Davis gets hit a lot. I'm not just saying that. I mean, you can see it in a lot of her fights. You can see the damage on her face, So I was like, okay, so maybe Sabine Amazo is going to be that fighter to pump out these straight strikes and just keep a fighter like Alexis Davis on the outside, just keep her on the outside and keep her honest. But the minute she got taken down, the whole fight just changed. It was like she was lost. I don't know, y'all agree with me on that? Like, when Sabine Amazo threw that kick and Alexis Davis took her to took her to the mat. She just seemed lost to me, you know. And right there, that was the first thing I checked off on my list. I was like, okay, she needs to work on her ground skills. She needs to work on getting comfortable on her back, you know, because as soon as she was on her back, it was like, okay, I don't know, like, I don't know if I like this position. She was eating some knees to the body. Alexis Davis did great in that side control and just really controlled her on the back. She made her look lost, and Sabine Amazo wasn't even trying to like fight back really. You know, that first round was just favoring Sabine Amazo with the strikes, you know, doing damage. You know, she was putting hands on Alexis Davis, marking her up. But Alexis Davis did, like I said in my prediction, if she could go in and smother the attack and take it to the ground, it's going to be all her. And she did that for the whole fight. You know, she did that for the whole fight. And Sabine Amazo did not know how to switch the gear up. Sabine Amazo, her weakness is getting into third and fourth gear early. You know, she's too inactive to me. She's too inactive in the early part of her fights. You know, you can go back and look at some of these fights. You know, she's a little stingy with her punches. You know, she can get a little stingy. That's why it'll cost her a round or two. You know, so let's hold on. I'm just looking right now at this. I'm gonna look at a little clip. Because even like in this little clip I was looking at, Sabine Amazo was not fluid looking on her feet in this fight. You know, she was using little feints with her shoulder. She was stepping side to side, but she was not firing kicks off. She was not shooting enough shots, you know, a variety of shots to really baffle Alexis Davis in this fight. So, you know, she said, okay, all I got to do is time a few shots, get a few of my own in, and I'll get her down. And what really impressed me in that second round was how Alexis Davis got confident with her calf kick. You know, when that calf kick started coming, I was like, man, I love this. I was like, man, I love these calf kicks. What's up? Like, you know, because it's just like you can see the damage and the long-term damage throughout the minutes of a round, out every second of a round where a fighter starts to slow down. Like Sabine Amazo, her output was kind of going down. Yeah, she was trading, but as far as her like commitment to move, the calf kick was starting to freeze her up a little bit. And, you know, you could see the damage being done. And it was like Sabine Amazo didn't know how to multitask. Robot Chicken, what's going on? Like you couldn't really see Sabine Amazo multitasking. Like she would throw strikes up top, but she was eating too many calf kicks. It was like she didn't know how to take away the calf kick at the same time laying. Like all she had to do was maybe take a step back, maybe a few centimeters back, measure her range, and get a full extension off her shots. But no, she didn't know how to do that. You know, she didn't know how to do that. So she's eating these calf kicks, and Sabine Amazo goes up top. Alexis Davis goes down low. Alexis Davis goes up top, goes down low. So the calf kick, man, like I said, I'm really a fan of that now. I'm a fan of it like the jab because it's like a slow burn towards really turning into like a beatdown, you know? It really opens up a beatdown on these fighters, and nobody understands that. You know, I think the problem with a lot of these young fighters now, which I'm going to speak on here with Sabine Amazo and Montana De La Rosa, is that a lot of these young fighters, they're looking for special effects. They're looking for quick and easy knockouts. So they're looking for the flashy stuff. They don't commit to like chopping somebody down. You know, they think that a jab or a calf kick is just too much work. Like, man, if I can't get him out of there, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to keep throwing this, you know? See, Alexis Davis from old school, she said, okay, this girl's hitting me up top. I'm going to keep going down low. I'm going to keep hitting the low. I'm going to keep ripping this calf. Then, boom, down to the ground we go again. Third round, same thing. Boom, we go down to the ground after I keep ripping this lead leg. And that shows you the difference between eras of fighters right there. Like, you would think that the new era of fighter would be wiser to some of these moves. But it's all about the work you put in, no matter the age. You know what I mean? That's why Alexis Davis won this fight, because she was appreciating the fact that she had to take her time and chop an opponent down. You know what I mean? She really took her time with that. All right, let's go back to the chat here real quick. Let's see. Let me scroll back up here a little bit. Okay. Marcus said, I can see Julia Avila beating up Alexis Davis if Julia can get past her ground game. I don't know, man. That's why I called for that fight yesterday. I was like, I want to see Alexis versus Avila. I think Alexis Davis might have a good chance, man. If Julia Avila comes in swinging wild, I don't know. Let's see. Robert Henry said it's ridiculous the way people are claiming that Mazo is on the way out. Macy Barber has only half the skills, and I don't think she's on her way out just yet. Right. Which I'll compare that in a minute here. Robot said Julia needs work too. She got exposed by Eubanks. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, like she needs work too. Like, I don't think her game plan would be enough to beat Alexis Davis right now. Davis has zero head movement, right? Yeah, that's why she was getting tattooed, but she stuck to her game plan. Robert says Sabina needs to learn how to let her hands go more, especially against fighters like Davis. Yeah, like, this was like the first fight where she started to let her hands go, and she just abandoned the plan again. Alexis Davis was making Viviana look even better with the win over Sabine Amazo. Right. Yeah, Marcus, Rose stopped her special effects a long time ago. Yeah, you know, all that flying stuff and flying arm bar and then wild kicks. Like, nah, she kind of switched up her style and started becoming more of a jabber and mover. Robert, if more young WMMA fighters combine the calf kick with the jab, right. I can't believe people think Montana De La Rosa won. Myra's way more aggressive. Yeah, we'll talk about that fight too, because I have my thoughts on that too in a minute. Amanda, a calf kick to Megan's legs. Right. Yeah, so all in all, man, with this fight here, Sabine Amazo just has tools that can win her fights. It's just all about her approach to win and how to use them. You know, like she had moments in this fight where she knew when to use them, but I think it was almost like her schooling was for the next level was gone whenever it went down to the ground, if that makes sense. You know, she didn't know how to fight off her back. She didn't know how to stop the takedowns from a fighter like Alexis Davis. It was almost like she was just waiting for the takedown to be taken down and just kind of go from there and hope for the best. You know, she would just kind of survive on the ground instead of trying to scramble and pop back up. Some fighters seem like they're kind of in fear of doing what Joanna does. You know, when Joanna gets down, Joanna's like, no, I'm back up. You know, I need to get back up real quick, like she slipped and fell or something, you know. So many of these other fighters, they just kind of want to stay on the ground and almost hope for a prayer that their opponent lets them back up. But yeah, the calf kick, like I said, that's an important thing, man. Just looking at how patient Alexis Davis was in this fight. She said, look, I'm going to commit to this kick. I'm going to simply tear you down with this. And it's going to open up so many doors to this offense that, you know, that I plan to use on you. You know, I'm not going to go in there right away and start looking flashy. We're just going to commit to a jab, or we're going to commit to a calf kick and just keep this going. Okay. Robert Hayes said I would still pick Julia in that fight, especially if she's a little patient at first. Julia won't have an issue with letting her hands go once she connects a couple of hard on Davis. Yeah, I could see that too. Yeah, because um, if you commit and let your hands go, which is why I said Sabine Amazo could win this fight, then yeah, you can beat Alexis Davis, no problem. Like, if you turn it into a brawl, you could beat her no problem if you let your hands go and do damage. And yeah, Abila has the power to hurt Alexis Davis, I believe. Yeah, she's a faster starter too. I got to give her credit. She's a much faster starter than Sabine Amazo. But yeah, moving forward from here, Alexis Davis staying at 135, I think is best. 36 years old. At this age, dropping up and down in weight is not smart. So from here, she needs to just stay at 135 and yeah, try her luck with these bantamweights from 10 to 12 or 10 to 15 and see if she can break into the top 10 from there. And Sabine Amazo, I think 125 is best for her. Move back down to flyweight. 23 years old, she should be able to make that weight. I think that if she stays in the realm of 140 or 135 throughout her fighting career, she should be good. Even during her off time, she should be fine with that. Yeah, but she's definitely not done. I mean, we've seen some young fighters get cut, like Nadia Kassim. She got cut. They'll get cut early, but they'll come back. But that's on the UFC too, to make wiser picks. You need to make sure these fighters are really ready for the UFC. If they're not ready, don't waste time with them. Like, so Nadia Kassim, was she really ready for the UFC? Not really, right? I think that looking at Sabine Amazo as far as her skill set and what she could be, she is UFC ready. It's just a matter of growing up. She needs to kind of grow up. She just needs to grow up in there. She's just the type of fighter that needs to say, look, I need to grow up now. But yeah, shout out to Alexis Davis. That was a good fight. Again, that's just a good lesson of patience and commitment on Alexis Davis' side, and Sabine Amazo just needing to mature, man. She just needs to mature in there. That's why I say Sabine Amazo is a few levels below Miranda Maverick. I mean, Miranda Maverick, they're about the same age, I want to say. They're both 23. And I think Miranda Maverick is a better prospect than Sabine Amazo right now. She showed glimpses of a better prospect. I will say that, Or she is. Yeah, I think she is. Because she's beat veterans too, in Invicta FC. And she's done different things in different fights. She's lost a couple fights early in her career, and she's made the improvements. She seems like she's more so maturing at 23 years old, and has a mission. Yeah, yes, that's what I think, man. Mazo must learn how to adjust on the fly. A young fighter doesn't have the ability to counter what opponents ingrain them as much as vets do. Certainly not on the level of the best WMMA fighters. Yeah. Yeah, Alexis Davis looks the same in every fight. I think she really looked good in this fight just for one reason, too, is because, Sabine Amazo just wasn't on that level. That's definitely, no knock to Alexis Davis as a fighter and her performance. I'm not taking away from it, but the fact that Sabine Amazo just is young and still growing and she's green, that definitely played a big factor into what Alexis Davis was able to do. Yeah, for sure. But okay, man, let's jump over here. Let's jump to this next fight last night. Montana De La Rosa versus Myra Buena Silva. Actually upload my post-fight thoughts on that fight right now. Hang on. Just finished uploading. Y'all can watch it later though. You know, my post-fight analysis of the fight. 1 second. Okay, so Montana De La Rosa versus Myra Buena Silva. Let's talk about this fight. Let's talk about this fight, man. Okay. I don't think anything disappoints me more than a fighter or fighters that have a game plan. Well, excuse me. Not a game plan, but have the answer right in front of their faces, but they don't take advantage of it. They don't want to take advantage of what's working for them. And that's what was going on in this fight here. Like, that's what was really disappointing me in both of these ladies. Like, Montana De La Rosa, she had the keys to victory right in front of her. And so did Myra Buena Silva. Hang on, y'all. I was just messing with my video that's uploading. Give me 1 second here. Here we go. All right. Yeah, let me know what y'all think. Like while I'm talking, while I'm just making sure this video uploads right. Let me know what y'all thought of the fight real quick. Go ahead and leave me the comments right there. Okay, Montana De La Rosa. Okay, here we go. All right, just making sure a video popped up while I was. Okay, save. Okay. So Marcus Bell said the level of IQ was disappointing on both fighters' ends. Yeah, man, like that's what it was about this fight, man. Like the answer to win was right there for both fighters, and it was almost embarrassing. You know, like I said, it was just disappointing, and it really was pissing me off from, you know, outside looking in, because Montana had the answer to beat Myra and Myra had the answer to beat Montana, but neither fighter wanted to take advantage of it. The level of IQ, Marcus, was very disappointing. It was very disappointing because they kept choosing to do whatever they wanted to do when they didn't need to do that. You know, like if they would have just said, look, let me commit to what's working, do that. You know, you got to do that. Just stay what's working for you instead of trying to switch up and make the fight harder. Like, why are you making the fight harder for yourself? You know, Montana De La Rosa, okay, like we can say, look, Montana De La Rosa, when she lets her hands go, her punches are decent. They look good, but one part of striking, to make your striking elite or on a high level, your striking has to be executed. You know, and she's not executing. Marcus Bell said Myra should have stayed on Montana with ground and pound and got all the points she could have gotten. Right. Keeping the fight in close. Myra Buena Silva, if she would have kept the fight in close, you know, her knees, her striking, she would have been so much more effective. You know, she would have been so much more effective, and she probably would have got a stoppage. But she kept stopping. Like, she kept on letting Montana recover. She kept giving Montana too many moments to recover in this fight. It was like both fighters were doing just enough to do whatever, like not to win, not to get by, but just to kind of BS themselves out of their own fight, you know, out of their own win. Robert said that Montana Myra fight last night is a prime example of why Octagon IQ goes wrong. Both fighters were on -1,000. Yeah, they were. Like, let's go back to the first round. The opening seconds, Montana started to wow me a little bit, man, because she let her hands go. You know, she fired off a 1-2, and then she fired off another right hand, and she had her moments where she was using her front kicks. You know, her striking started to look a little decent. But then I was like, why is Montana constantly trying to close distance and wrestle? Like, why is she trying to go in for all these body locks, and why is she trying to lay on Myra Buena Silva while Myra Buena Silva is like tearing her up to the body with these knees and to the head? It's like she wants to take this damage. Like, this was damage she could have avoided if she would just kept the fight standing. Like, yeah, Montana maybe could have won this fight standing up. She could have won this fight standing up if she would have just stuck with a game plan of jabbing and landing the right hand. You know, because Myra Buena Silva, she can be hit. I said that in my prediction. She can be hit. You know, Myra Buena Silva was getting pieced up by Marina Moreau. But the thing is, Marina Moreau is a better boxer. You know, she's a better mover and better striker. She's going to stick to the game plan. You know, but Montana, she chose to throw a 1-2, double jab, and then all of a sudden she would clinch and absorb shots and just choose to take a beating, you know? So it was on her. It was on her part. Now, I will say I disagree with the referee taking a point in the first round. I thought that was kind of harsh. I said it wasn't like an ongoing thing where Myra Buena Silva kept grabbing the fence. He should have just let the fight take place on the ground and let that be it, and then give her a hard warning. But don't take the point that early in the fight. You know, that was a little too much for me. You know, if she kept grabbing the fence throughout the round or in the fight, then you take a point. But right away, just give the takedown to Montana De La Rosa. Don't take the point yet. You know? So, looking at the second round, again, you know, Montana's pumping out her jab. You know, she's pumping out a jab. She's hitting Myra Buena Silva with clean punches, but she'll want to go in for a clinch, or she'll let Myra Buena Silva control these clinches and land some big knees to her body. And you can see these knees are doing damage, and these knees are cracking Montana in the face. And Montana's got the golf ball on the eye. You know, she's got the golf ball right over that eye. And all that could have been avoided in this fight. You know, taking this damage could have been avoided. And the thing about Myra Buena Silva, like, it was hard to give her a clean round as well, is because she was throwing these knees, but she would continue to let Montana recover. Like, she would let Montana recover. And when she recovered, she'd be right back into the fight, trying to clinch, get a takedown, and make these rounds close, you know, making these rounds close. And then when you went into the third round, Myra Buena Silva had to get a finish to me, had Montana leaking, but it was like, okay, right whenever she starts to leak, I'm going to stop. Or right whenever I buckle her, I'm going to just stop. You know, it was always like half-assing it from both fighters. Another point I talked about too in this post-fight analysis I just uploaded is how Montana, she liked to strike until she gets hit. Like, when she starts getting hit, that's when she goes into a clinch. You know, maybe that's her getting hit should be a sign of telling herself to say, maybe I need to move my head a little bit more. You know, maybe I need to start slipping punches, and I won't take as much damage. You know, that might be a thought, right? Let me see. Let me check the comment section. Silva had opportunities for jabs, but then using Montana was effective with hers, but went away from it. Gane between Rosa and strike mostly by leg kicks and a steady jab. Yeah, like, his was a boring fight, but I mean, he at least was throwing some jabs and leg kicks. So. Yeah, but after if you look at my post fight analysis, I pretty much I pretty much had to agree and just say this fight was a draw. A draw was fair. Let that be a lesson to both fighters because neither one of them really executed a good game plan to try and win. So I said the first round was 9-9. I just made the first round a 9-9 round because Myra Buena Silva would have won it if she didn't get a point taken. I would have gave her the first round, and then she won the second round. Yeah, second round thing, yeah. And Montana won the third round. So, yeah, I just had it 9-9 that first round, so it wound up being a tie it wound up being a draw in my opinion. And the thing is with this fight, if Montana would have won, I would have been less disappointed. Like I would have been a lot less disappointed because I could have at least said, okay, Montana executed her striking. She executed a good game plan, and she came to win, and she's improved. But after watching this performance, nah, man, like she's miles away from improvement. Like after this performance, I don't know if she'll ever break into the top 15. What are y'all thoughts? Like, where do you see Montana De La Rosa going from here as far as her improvements? Like, will she ever be in the top 15? Jillian Robertson, I think she could break into the top 15 before Montana can now. I mean, there's just too many factors. There's just too many weaknesses in Montana where they balance out her strengths, She just lets too many moments slip where she can win a fight. She just lets herself get hit with too many unnecessary punches, taking too much unnecessary damage, and she comes out looking like this in a fight where all this could have been avoided. I know Myra Buena Silva's a dog in there, but still, like, Montana had enough striking ability to shut all that down from what I've seen. Like, she had enough to really do damage on Buena Silva, but she would just leave it alone. She would just abandon it and try to go into wrestling. So yeah, all in all, I just think it was one of these fights where a draw will teach them both a lesson, hopefully, and they'll both go back and say, well, they'll both go back and watch this fight and say, wow, what did I do in there? Like, how did I let this fight slip out of my hands like that? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what y'all think, man. Myra Buena Silva, Montana, what do they got to do? Do y'all see Montana breaking into the top 15 after this performance? What do y'all think? Do you see her striking? Do you see her committing to her striking a little bit more too? Like, commitment is her problem. Like, she's just too much of a grappler and a wrestler, and she's just setting those ways that she abandons the striking. Like, why can't she just become a jabber one whole fight? What's wrong with that? Don't grapple if you don't have to, or don't wrestle if you don't have to. You're wasting way too much energy. Like Usman, man, like against Colby Covington, he just turned into a solid striker in that fight. He had his moments to clinch in there, but against Covington, he just went in there, fought a very gritty fight and pieced up Colby Covington, broke him down, broke the jaw. Gilbert Burns fight, he became a jabber all night in that fight, and he got the win in 3 rounds. But it's like Montana here was a jabber and a right-hander, and then all of a sudden I'm a wrestler now. All of a sudden, which didn't even call for that. It didn't even call for that. There wasn't a moment in the fight where it really called for that. You got to use you got to use the right tools for the right situation. Don't just say, okay, I'm a wrestler, so I got to wrestle. No. I don't know, man. Robert said, I see Montana De La Rosa sinking like the Titanic to the bottom. Okay, you see her sink into the bottom of the flyweight division. All right. Robert, I just can't understand why Silva let Montana up. Yeah, like Silva was doing damage. Like she was landing some good shots. Like whenever she was ducking the up kicks, she came down with some good hits and she hit Montana good, man. That second round, that eye started swelling. I was like, yo, yo, let's take this, let's finish this. Let's don't let it go to the judges. But they let it go to the judges, and that's what they get. Let's see. Marcus Bell said, remember when the flyweight division first started, Montana ranked at number 5 when Jillian ranked at number 11. Oh yeah, I remember that, man. Like you talking about like almost back to the Tough House days, right? Yeah, that slowly changed. That slowly changed. Yeah, man. That slowly changed, the more and more better fighters came into the division. And they got tested by those better fighters. Yeah, though, with Montana's approach, she's not going to break into the top 15. I'm going to be honest. Like, after last night, she's not going to break into the top 15. Now, if she would have went in there and pieced up Myra Buena Silva, I would have gave her full credit. I would have said, look, she went in there beat Myra Buena Silva down. There's hope for her. We might see her in the top 15. But she was just not committing. BJ, what's going on, man? BJ, I'm in here, I'm critiquing Montana De La Rosa, man. Like I'm not bashing her, man. I'm just being honest, man. I'm just giving my facts about what I saw from Montana. Like I need to see more from her, man, or she ain't gonna break into this top 15, man. I'm disappointed in her and Myra Buena Silva from last night. And to be honest, Myra Buena Silva is in the same boat as Montana. Like, if she doesn't take advantage of what's working and commit to what's working, Buena Silva's not going to be in the top 15. Because Buena Silva's performance last night will get her licked by Jennifer Maya. It'll get her licked by Roxanne Modafferi. Once you start getting through her offense and you take her to the ground and put her on her back and she's just laying there, she gasses out, that's it. That's it. That'll be it. So they're in the same boat. And BJ, like I was just telling everybody else here in the chat, man, it's like I said, I was really BJ, look, if Montana won last night, that would have been something. That would have been better. That would have been better than anything than a draw. But with a draw, it makes you say that neither one of these fighters wanted it enough to win. Neither one of these fighters really wanted it enough to win the fight. Montana looked disappointed, but she should have been smiling that it was a draw, in my opinion. She should have been smiling. She at least got a draw in this fight. I mean, you can look at her face and tell you should be thanking the Almighty you got a draw in this one, for real. And then Buena Silva over there, grabbing her hand and they acting like that was a badass fight. Like, yeah, y'all had y'all moments in there, but it wasn't no fight to the death. There wasn't no Whaley versus Joanna fight. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a straight up skill for skill fight where y'all were going 100. That's my thoughts though, for real. Like, use what works. Just use what works. Stop being a wrestler. Stop trying to grapple when you don't have to. Yeah, BJ, I wish she would have stuck to her striking too, man, because it was working. Yeah, man, there wasn't much to pull from this fight. I know. Yeah, there wasn't much to pull from it, but yeah, you can say it when she used it. it looked good. The first round when she started letting her hands go, I said, okay, Myra Buena Silva's got a problem here. I was like, Myra Buena Silva's got a problem coming up here because these big shots are landing. But then I was just like, why did she? Yeah, Robert. Why did she abandon this? Good right hands, good jabs. It was almost like she didn't like to get hit though, BJ. I don't know if you feel that same way. Like when she started taking shots, she went into the clinch instead of slipping. Like if you start taking shots instead of trying to clinch and hold, start slipping the shots. Maybe she should have started slipping the shots more. Because whenever you clinch, Myra Buena Silva is gonna start landing them knees to the face and to the body, and that's what benefited for her. That's what started working. Yeah, she cracked Myra Buena Silva with some good right hands, and then she would just step back and admire the shots like, oh wow, but she should have been whooping behind, letting her hands go. I don't know, man. Like Usman, like I said, he'll turn into a striker when need be and not wrestle. That's what Montana needed to do. She needed to take a page out of that book. Because that's why I said there was going to be blood in this fight, y'all. BJ, that's why I said there was going to be blood in this fight, because both fighters are going to be standing in front of them, in front of each other. They're going to be standing in front of each other, and Montana, like I said, if a target's in front of her, she will let her hands go, and she did that, but she would stop. So, it didn't work out the way it should have, man. Like I said, I picked Myra Buena Silva, but if Montana had won, then that would at least gave us an answer to who got better, who was making the right improvements, who wants to go to the next level. Robert said, I think the lack of head movement is still a big problem. Yeah, the lack of head movement is a problem, man. Yeah, lack of head movement is definitely the problem. Like, her thing is to go in for the fight, to the clinch, and start wrestling whenever she gets hit instead of slipping punches. Yeah, draw's not any better. Yeah. Draw is definitely not any better. But let's jump to this next fight here, y'all. Yeah, towards the end here, if y'all want to give me y'all quick thoughts in an open link, I can squeeze y'all in, because I'm going to try to get off here at 8:30 tonight. So, yeah, look, y'all. Felicia Spencer versus Danielle Wolf, man. Like, I know I've already told y'all how I feel about this fight. Like, why is this fight happening, though, man? Like, what is this fight really going to do for Felicia Spencer? I know what it's going to do for Danielle Wolf. Like, if Danielle Wolf was able to win this fight, it would do wonders for her, definitely. That's a big win for Danielle Wolf. But I ask it like that because, she really doesn't have a chance against Felicia Spencer. Like, what real chance does Danielle Wolf have against Felicia Spencer? As y'all know, this fight is going to be finalized for May 22nd now. And Danielle Wolf doesn't have much time to prepare for a dog like Felicia Spencer. Now size-wise and the way these two ladies look as far as matching up, this is full-fledged featherweight territory. But I would be more so excited if Danielle Wolf was like 5-0. If Danielle Wolf was like 5-0 or at least 6-0, then I would say, yeah, we're in for a real fight. I would definitely be saying we're in for a real fight and she may have a chance. But 1-0 with that fight, with that one win being against a Tanisha Tennant, a bantamweight, what are we measuring her? What are we measuring her off of? What are we measuring her off of here? What are we saying, Danielle? Where's her chance at? What do y'all think? Like, what does the UFC see that Danielle Wolf has that's going to give Felicia Spencer a problem? Let me know what do y'all think. B just said he's ready for this fight. Yeah. Ernest Richardson said based on body shapes, Spencer versus Wolf is a milk jug brought to life versus a giraffe. Oh boy, you crazy, man. No, Felicia Spencer, man, she's not in bad shape. That's what you're saying. I mean, this girl uses that size to her advantage, man. All right, so BJ said Felicia does like to strike. That's Wolf's opening. Yeah, that'll be her opening. Is her striking enough to win this fight? Let me ask y'all that. Is her striking enough to win this fight? They see Holly Holm. Yeah, but at least Holly Holm had some wins before she came into the UFC. Like, even Holly Holm, I'm sure they were targeting her as soon as she jumped into MMA. But at least Holly Holm had scored some wins to make herself look good, you know, before she jumped into the UFC. It's like Danielle Wolf. They could not wait to grab her just from off a boxing background. And even before she took on the big challenge, you know, she took on some, you know, veterans like Rocky and Marion Renault before she took the big chance. Because let's see, Holly Holm was 7-0 before she went to the UFC. You know, at least they gave her some fights. You know, she fought in Bellator, LFC, you know, in different organizations like that. You know, she went 7-0 before she went into the UFC. But I'm talking 1-0 on the Contender Series. Come on. Robert says some people think that Wolf will be able to at least connect on Spencer better than against Tanisha Tennant. But my only question is for how long? Yeah, like, yeah, I agree with that. Like, I don't see it being a great deal. Like, I could see Felicia Spencer closing that distance early on, man, and just, you know, making this fight an ugly fight on the inside. Like, Tanisha Tennant had success in the clinch against Danielle Wolf, you know. So imagine how it's going to be when a natural featherweight gets in there and really muscles her way in, because Felicia Spencer muscled her way in on the Megan Anderson. So that'll tell you something about her. You know, that tells you that she's got the strength and she's got the balance to really take Danielle Wolf down in this fight. Yeah, Felicia Spencer, no, not at all, man. She's not in bad shape, not at all. You know, not everybody has to come in there with the six-pack or, you know, coming in there ripped up. You know, Felicia Spencer's in decent shape, I mean, for a featherweight. Marcus said if you leave Nunes out there, only 3 women in the featherweight division. Yeah, BJ said the UFC likes boxers, Holly, Grasso, Wolf, Carbant, Aldana. Yeah, they do. They do like some boxers. You know, they trying to take that market over as well, so. But this is really a gamble for the UFC even, man, because it's like I said, Holly Holm 7-0 before she went into the UFC, but Danielle Wolf, no background at all, no wins at all in professional MMA, and boom, lands a fight with the former Invicta champion. That former champion's been in there 10 rounds with Cyborg and Nunes. Combine both of them, she's been in there with them 10 rounds. That's 10 rounds of experience for her. You know, that's 10 rounds of experience. Granted, Danielle Wolf has this extensive boxing background, but I mentioned this to y'all before. I'm going to pull it up again, though. Danielle Wolf may be a boxer, and she may seem like this fighter that's going to keep her at bay and knock her out, but I'm going to pull that record up for y'all. I mentioned this in a video already. Danielle Wolf's record in boxing. Y'all want to know Danielle Wolf's record in boxing? Told y'all this in another video. Danielle Wolf's record is 30 wins, 14 losses, 0 wins by knockout. And no, I'm not reading it to like bash the record or nothing. I'm saying she has 30 wins in boxing and 0 wins by knockout. I'm just reading that to y'all to let y'all know that I don't see her having a puncher's chance in this fight. I don't see Felicia Spencer in there having to worry about the power, if that makes sense. Like, everybody has to worry about getting hit on the chin, of course, but Felicia Spencer taking bombs from Nunes and Chris Cyborg, those hard hitters and in the UFC, and she's not going down. Danielle Wolf, coming from the boxing background, knows how to sit down on her shots like a real boxer, but she has no knockouts. She has no knockouts. Granted, a lot of women don't score knockouts in boxing. Hell, Clarissa Shields only has 2, but people are thinking that Danielle Wolf is going to go in there and counter and knock Felicia Spencer out. You got to think twice about that. I never thought that. That's why I'm worried for her. Because I told y'all before, 30 wins, 0 wins by knockout. So what are her chances? Clinch fighting? I kind of see Felicia Spencer controlling that clinch. On the ground, I see Felicia Spencer controlling that as well. I see her controlling that as well. Might take a punch or two, but as soon as she says I can't fight on the outside, then boom, I'm going to take her down. Same like she did to Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson, much bigger, much taller, much more of a harder puncher than Danielle Wolf, and she still was able to get on the inside. So, what are her chances, man? Like, it'll be interesting when they get in there, just looking at them as far as how the matchup could be, just seeing Felicia back in there and what kind of work she's going to do on her. But Danielle Wolf is going to have power and movement to keep Felicia Spencer back. And I think with the experience that she's learned from Chris Cyborg and the Nunes fights, she's going to be able to go in there and close distance early and make this a rough and rugged fight and really take it to Danielle Wolf. I'd be surprised if Danielle Wolf was able to knock her out for real, because no knockouts in boxing, man. Come on. Robert Henry says Spencer got that iron chin. Yeah, she's got an iron chin. Like, this is a fight where she doesn't have to worry about getting, chipped away at, because again, she's taking punches from Nunes, Cyborg, took a few hits from Megan Anderson, and said, look, I'm not going to fight on the outside. I'm going to take you down until I submit you. So she has that ability to adjust and say, look, I'll come in, smother your offense. Danielle Wolf, she doesn't even got to worry about the power here in that case, She doesn't even have to worry about the power. She could mix it up on her feet just by what we're looking at if she wanted to, but she could walk right through some of these punches and just take her down. So her chin is made of iron, man. Yeah, you ain't knocking Felicia Spencer out, boy, because she'll keep you on that back foot. That girl coming, boy. Marcus, Danielle Wolf is a boxer who hasn't worked her way from the ground up like Holly. Exactly. Marcus, I'm talking, at least Holly, had kickboxing experience, boxing experience, and she still went into Bellator and all these other organizations to get some wins before she took that final leap to the UFC. Robot Chicken says Spencer all day. Yeah, man. Putting Danielle Wolf in there with Felicia is almost like putting Clarissa Shields in there with an MMA fighter, elite MMA fighter. Yeah, basically, that's what it is. Like, if you put Clarissa Shields in there with, if you put her in there with Kayla Harrison right now in the PFL, that's a mismatch. Amanda Nunes, that's a mismatch. You know? So honestly, man, just looking at this fight right now, if we had to play it out, I see the first round of Felicia Spencer just really trying her best to get it to the ground as early as possible. You know, Danielle Wolf, I know they said she has some work as far as her ground skills, as far as training, but I haven't really seen her in any grappling tournaments or any amateur fights. Let's see if she does have an amateur career in MMA. I don't think so, though. Let's see here. Danielle Wolf, MMA career. No amateur fights in MMA. 37 years old. Yeah, because I know she was in boxing for a while, so she's 37 and making a leap to the UFC with only one win. That's pretty dangerous, man. I mean, that's just me. I don't know if y'all think the same way. Yeah, she doesn't, right, BJ? Yeah, she don't have anything as far as MMA. I mean, I heard some other boxers say something too about, you know, her boxing career too as well, but that was basically all they could say as far as what she has. You know, no amateur fights. So yeah, it's a crazy leap for her. It's definitely a crazy leap, and they're not giving her any easy fights either. They're not giving her any easy fights. You know, Tanisha Tennant definitely wasn't an easy fight. I still feel like she lost that fight. Danielle Wolf did, and now she's going in there with Felicia Spencer. So going back to what I was saying, as far as how this fight would play out, I just see Felicia Spencer going in there, maybe taking a jab or two, and eventually closing that. She'd be throwing roundhouse kicks too. People forget, you know, Felicia's very athletic. Might talk about her size, but there's no problem with her size and her shape to me. But she's very quick. Felicia Spencer's fast. I don't know if y'all agree. What do y'all think? Felicia Spencer is fast for a featherweight. That girl be moving. She be throwing head kicks too. So I could see Felicia going in there, chopping away with some leg kicks, going up to the head, maybe taking some punches. You know, taking a few punches, but she will get into that body lock and press this to the fence and take it to the ground. It might play out similar to how the Megan Anderson fight was. So, you know, how she got on Megan Anderson's back and eventually just, you know, laid her out, flattened her out on her belly, and that was it. Yeah, Robert, I mean, yeah, 30 wins is nice, but not a single knockout either, you know? Not a single knockout either. So that's not really, you know, her knockout ratio was 0. So that's something that, you know, a lot of people are going to look at. I mean, yeah, 30 wins is nice, but if you ain't knocked nobody out too, then people are going to just kind of disrespect your punches and your punching power. Okay, so yeah, like that's my thoughts, man. I just think this is gonna be a fight where Felicia Spencer goes in there and gets a win, and moves on. And this is gonna be another telling tale of why this featherweight division is a joke to the UFC fans. Yeah, very fast and athletic, man. Like Felicia Spencer is fast and athletic. I think she could do for some more. Just a little, you know, a little bit more of a technical approach to some of her fights, and she just really needs to work on her striking. You know, polish up how she sits down on her punches, and be more committed to, you know, keeping her feet set. And I think Felicia Spencer would do some big things, man. Like, honestly, like, aside from the Nunes loss and the Cyborg loss, I never really seen any other featherweights beating Felicia Spencer. Just the way she came through. And, you know, she was able to beat Pam Bam back in Invicta. And I was just like, okay. I've never seen anybody just take Pam Bam out like that, like, with this type of approach. So when she did that, and then she called Megan Anderson out too right after that fight, I was like, this girl is on to something. This girl is on to something. So her record, you know, at least Felicia Spencer, you know, her record stands on something, like amateur fights. Fun fact for y'all that y'all didn't know, probably didn't know, Felicia Spencer beat Macy Chiasson in the amateurs a while back. I'm gonna see if I can find that fight, man. Like, I heard that, like, Felicia Spencer, she beat Macy Chiasson back in the amateurs. You know, just blew through a lot of these girls in Invicta. Very good fighter, man. Very good fighter. So this is kind of a step down for her. Let's be honest, right? It's a step down for her. Yeah, BJ. Yeah, she don't care how hard you hit. She did not care how hard you hit. She's coming in there, boy. She don't care. And I don't think Danielle Wolf hits hard enough to hurt her. All right, so last but not least, always got to get in a little Whaley. We got to get in a little Whaley. Whaley versus Rosa Namajunas talk, man. I've been talking about this fight a little bit on my channel here because I'm just ready for this fight to happen, man. Whaley versus Rose. Is it really coming to UFC 261? I don't know. I don't know for a fact yet. Everybody keeps saying it's being targeted. That's as much as I can give y'all. But at this point, I'm like, yo, this fight just needs to be made. All of y'all are getting restless like me with this fight because I've never seen the strawweight championship or the strawweight belt not be defended for this long. Am I wrong about that, guys? Like, is this the longest that the strawweight title's been held without being defended? Answer me that. I mean, I gotta be right? The title hasn't gone this long without being defended, right? I don't know who you're talking about, Robert. What's the name of the fighter? Said hit the hardest. He had a bunch of losses, but he also had a ton of knockouts as well. MMA or boxing? Old school or new school? I was just rapping a song in my head when you mentioned Biggie, man. Like, when I said old school, new school, I was like, old school, new school, need to learn though. Yeah. I burn, baby, burn. We over here rapping Biggie tonight. I'm more of a Tupac fan, but you know, Big is man. We won't be looking back on this fight like Biggie was all a dream. Yeah, BJ, Joanna was defending, man, constantly. Even Andrade made a quick turnaround. You right, man. Like, she made a quick turnaround and, you know, got blasted out. But at least she was going in there. But this time, man, like, this is the longest the 115-pound championship has ever gone without being defended. That's why I was like, look, if Carla wants to fight, let her fight. Don't get mad. Like, if Carla gets to fight, just let her fight. You know, let Whaley have a fight. You know, y'all got to think about that too. Like, even if you don't like Carla, you know, think about the champion. She needs to fight somebody. And if Whaley needs somebody to fight while Rose is not in the position to fight yet, let Whaley Carla happen. I want to see her rack up a win against somebody in the top 10 in the meantime. You know, March 7th of 2020 was the last time that strawweight championship has been defended. March 7th was the last time the title has been defended. So it's just one of them things, man. Like, consistency is a thing that we just need. Like, we have to go back and give Joanna credit for that. Joanna was constantly wanting to fight when she was in her prime. You know, she constantly wanted to defend that title. 9 months between, it was 9 months between Rose and Jessica Andrade, for real? Let me check. 9 months between Rose and Jessica Andrade. That was after the Joanna rematch, right? Let's see. Oh yeah, this has already broken that record. Yeah, BJ. I saw Carly Yana got made May, right? It's going down in May. Ooh, hold on now. No, Robert. It was like 11 months. Hold on. Am I right? Hold on. Okay, Joanna won the Okay, Rose won. Rose beat Joanna November 4th, 2017 for the title. Rose defended the title in April of 2018. Rose defended the title May 11th of 2019. Oh, hold on. That's about the same amount of time. April 2018, she defended against Joanna. May 2019, she defended against Jessica Andrade before losing. So hell yeah, man, Rose went that long. Rose went 13 months. Yeah, that was a long time. That was a long time. It was 13 months, Robert. It was 13 months. Yeah, so she did it too. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like Rose, yeah, before this, Rose wasn't as consistent as Joanna either. You know, I'm a Rose fan, but she wasn't as consistent as Joanna was with the belt. Yeah. She was not. See, I thought that she jumped back in there with Jessica Andrade maybe like in 2018, but yeah, I remember now that was 2019. So yeah, she beat Joanna at the end of 2017, defended in 2018, and then defended in 2019. So yeah, she sat on that belt for like 13 months, man. The thing with Whaley, I don't think she was trying to sit on the belt for that long. I'm being real though. I don't think Joanna was trying to sit. Whaley was trying to sit on the belt that long. 13 months, and then loses the belt to Jessica Andrade. I was like, come on, man, what's up with that? Yeah, like, yeah, she wasn't very consistent with the belt either, you know. Joanna was the only one that was giving us, you know, title defense after title defense. So I got to give her credit on that. So whenever Jessica Andrade won the belt in July of 2020, she tried, hold on, excuse me. Jessica Andrade, she won the belt in 2019, May of 2019. She came back 3 months later against Whaley to defend her belt. So she came back 3 months later. Yeah, was that what it was, her surgery? She had surgery during that time after she won the belt. Yeah, because if that's what it is, yeah, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to put her down for that. But yeah, that was a long time too. So we haven't really had the belt defended consistently until Joanna, since Joanna had the belt. You know, Joanna, let's just take a look at how Joanna was doing it again. Hold on. I ain't going through all her title defenses. I just want to go through her time frame. So when she won the belt, she beat Carla for the belt in 2015 of March. Then she fought 3 months later against Jessica Panay. Then she fought 5 months later. Then she came back and fought in July 2016. So let's see. She went 3 months, 5 months, and then she went 8 months before fighting again, which was okay. Then another 4 months. Then like another 4 months. So yeah, Joanna was fighting on a consistent basis. The longest Joanna went without fighting in her title reign was about 8 months. But other than that, she was always like 3 months and 4 months. So yeah, this here with Whaley, it's happened before with Rose, when Rose had the belt. I'm just ready to see her fight. Like, I would have been cool if she would have got back in there with Carla and just got her title defense, but yeah, they just need to go ahead and solidify this fight, put it down. It's going to be the biggest fight on 261. I see all y'all kind of agree with me on that it needs to be the main event. Because let's be real, like it's main event worthy. People feel like Valentina versus Jessica is a one-sided fight. Well, if y'all call it one-sided, Whaley Rose is the winner. Whaley Rose is the main event then. I mean, I still feel like Whaley versus I still feel like Valentina versus Jessica is a good competitive fight though. It's champion versus #1 contender. That's still a good fight though. Anything can happen, but yeah, it's a good fight. But Whaley Rose is the more so bigger fight in a much more talented division. The strawweight division is the most competitive division, I feel like, in WMMA right now. UFC WMMA, and it'll definitely do big numbers. Everybody's waiting to see this fight. Robert said, I believe it was a neck injury. You know what happened in the Jessica fight? Yeah, I think that's what we were all kind of worried about that time, like the neck. And sure enough, that came. Yeah, it was the neck. I remember now. So yeah, I give Rose a pass for that. I do, man. Next to JoJo, I'll go easy on Rose. JoJo and Rose are like the only girls I give passes, Robert. They're not the only ones, but how I do with them. I kind of go easy on them. I mean, I ain't gonna lie on them now. I ain't gonna. If I see something wrong, I'm gonna say it. But I give her a pass because if she had a neck injury, I will give her inactivity. Then she's good. Yeah, BJ, the fight ain't one-sided. Yeah, like, I hate to sell it as a one-sided fight too, man, because come on, like, I mean, it's not like, yeah, Jessica Andrade got great skill and gonna go skill for skill, but you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen whenever a fighter's hungry. Hunger, man. Hunger can trump anything. Hunger and determination can trump a lot of things in there. Like, I'm not gonna sell the fight off of this. I'm not going to sell the fight where Jessica Andrade is this highly skilled fighter and going to give Valentina this big chess match, but I will sell it as a fight where this is a hungry girl that's relentless. And she's always game. And she's always game. So, yeah, hunger and determination definitely balance a lot of things out when you get in the octagon. They balance so many things out. But yeah, I know y'all feel the same, right? Whaley versus Rose is the main event. Let me know in the comment section. I know y'all feel that way, right? Whaley Rose is the main event. Sign it, damn it. Sign it, damn it. Get it on. I'm ready, man. Nah, man, I ain't never going hard on her like that. I mean, life is life, so I mean, I could. I mean, but I would just be trying to do it for shock value if I was going that hard. I mean, shoot, we all got some life things going on now, so these ain't like, these ain't supermen or superwomen, so BJ said those what if chances increase when you're talking about Andrade. They do, man. Like, they do, especially whenever a fighter comes hungry, man. What if, what if Jessica Andrade's head movement is better? What if her ability to make Valentina resets changes some things up? There's a lot of what ifs in there, man. Like, not even looking at it as a fan. Like I said, I'm not looking at it as a fan. I'm just looking at the chances in here, because if this was one-sided, I would say this is like, if this fight was one-sided, I would feel as comfortable as Valentina versus Jessica I. Shevchenko versus I in no way felt like I had a chance in that fight. That's how comfortable I felt. But if you saying you feel as comfortable as Shevchenko versus I going into Shevchenko versus Andrade, you better think twice. You must be a little crazy, man. Andrade's chances are way better than I, so you should feel a little bit of you should feel some butterflies in your stomach, just a little bit going into this fight. I know I do. The only, those are the, Caitlin Chikagian, when Jessica I got in there with Valentina, those were the only title defenses I can say where I felt this is going to be one-sided, and I'm like, the champ is good. The champ is good. The champ is good from here. But Andrade getting in there, I feel some tension. I feel a little bit of tension. This is like Bull versus Matador for real. Like I said, I ain't on no way trying to sell it. It's selling itself just by, both of these fighters being who they are. But I've seen way too many boxing matches, MMA matches in the past where things can change. Like, I felt a little bit of butterflies going into Izzy versus Paulo, just a little bit, but this is different. Izzy versus Paulo, it looked like Bull versus Matador, but Paulo Costa, to me, doesn't have the relentlessness of even a fighter like Jessica Andrade. Like, Jessica Andrade is much more relentless and scarier than Paulo Costa. I might sound crazy, right? No, but I just said that. Jessica Andrade is much more dangerous than Paulo Costa, even for a highly skilled fighter. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can quote me on that. Jessica Andrade is much more dangerous than Paulo Costa. Because even if she's damaged, she's still going to come at you behind. Paulo Costa, big, strong. You take away his lead leg, he's nothing. Jessica Andrade, you break her nose, you swell her eye, she's still going to keep coming. She's still going to keep coming. Yeah, Robot Chicken. Andrade is a wild card. Yeah, she's a wild card. Robert said I'll be laughing out loud at some of the stuff people say about Rose. Yeah, like, whatever going on with her personal life, that ain't me. That ain't really, I'm not, you can factor some of that in, of course. Outside influences do influence what they do in the octagon and what you do in the boxing ring, but yeah, when you start holding up a fight, I can definitely understand your point of view, though. Whenever somebody starts holding up a fight and you get restless, then boom. Yeah, people gonna start going in, and that's just how it is. When 13 months pass, 14 months pass, and you still ain't accepted a fight, yeah, people are gonna go in, and I can't defend you. I batted an eye at Jennifer Maia, though. Yeah, Jennifer Maia had chances. Yeah, Jennifer Maia. Don't let me separate that fight. Jennifer Maia had some good chances in that fight. I felt like her experience would have got her some rounds, but when it came to I and Chikagian, I didn't feel anything in those fights like Valentina was in trouble. But this fight here, I still feel like there is some factors in there where this can go the other way if you get caught sleeping. Listen to some of my past videos when I talk about fighting Andrade. You cannot sleep. Thankfully, Valentina is a insomniac when she's in there. She never sleeps. But let you slip up one time against Jessica Andrade. Let you slip up one time and it can go wrong. Valentina better rev up the attack. The counter strike isn't going to work in this fight. Yeah, to beat Jessica Andrade, you got to pump out volume. You got to put work out. And you gotta meet her intensity halfway to really put pop on her. You know, you gotta come with full on pop on your shots so you can really rock her. Cause she's doing part of the job for you. She does part of the job for you by coming straight in like a bull. You know, she's putting on that intensity, that pressure. So if you come with that pressure as well, you're gonna do damage. You know, ask Whaley. So yeah, man, Whaley versus Rose. It's a main event. It really is. This is a main event. I hope Whaley comes over at the right amount of time to get acclimated to this climate. You know, so she can kind of train in this type of heat. If it's in Vegas or whatever, you know, she can get her body adjusted to it and be prepared mentally and physically for it. So yeah, this is the fight, man. This is the fight that everybody wants. I'm gonna keep bringing it up until, you know, we get it. It's 50-50 though, man. Both of these fights give me butterflies. Like Whaley Rose is a tense fight, and so is Valentina versus Jessica Andrade. It is, man. I can't just go in there and lay back and say, oh, Valentina got this. No, you got to be on your game with this fight. This girl's dangerous. She's dangerous. I'm confident in champions. I'm confident in certain champions, you know, but you still got to show up. You still got to show up to prove it time and time again. If y'all agree with me on that or not, you know, that's how I feel. Yeah, BJ. Both fights are 50-50. Yeah. But yeah, man, like I said, I'm about to cut out. Just wanted for this time, this long. I got to do some cooking. Got to make some tacos out here. So yeah. Uh-oh. Hold on. Robert said BJ counter strikes will work. Just add a little more volume to it, but we'll see what happens when they close the cage doors. Right, man? We'll see. I think the singles will work in the first round, but as the rounds start to rev up and Valentina and Jessica Andrade gets a little bit more she gets into more of a rhythm, and she becomes more and more ready to close that distance and going for the kill, then that's when Jessica Andrade, you know, she gets ramped up. Valentina's going to have to start letting the hands go more. BJ Robertson, Maverick 60-40. Let me fix that for you. Hold on. Oh, you did chicken? Okay. Yeah, I gotta do these. I'm doing some beef tacos. Actually, using some spinach instead of lettuce too, man. I think they said that's better for you. That's pretty much. So I'm gonna use that. Let me fix this real quick. Hold on. You too, Robot Chicken. Thanks for coming through. But yeah, I'm about to get up out of here in a minute. Thanks for coming through, y'all. What did you think, Robot Chicken? I think you told me, right, Robot Chicken. Main event, Whaley, Rose versus Whaley. What do you think? Oh yeah, BJ. When you gonna do that? When are you doing that? Jillian Robertson, Courtney Casey fight. Are you gonna do that, man? BJ's supposed to be doing that Jillian Robertson versus Courtney Casey fight, man. If you do that fight tonight, I'll tune in definitely, man, while I'm cooking here. Hold on, let me know. Are you gonna do that fight tonight? Look, Maverick versus Robertson. You better be glad I'm giving her 30%, man. Yeah. Okay, tomorrow night. Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely be tuned in tomorrow night. Yeah, gotta tune into that, man. Cause this fight, yeah, tomorrow's March 1st, right? Wow. We almost there, man. We almost there. So let's see. Miranda Maverick. I probably try to get her on. Maybe I was thinking maybe after the fight I told her, but maybe I'll get her on before. If I talk to Miranda, you know, I'm gonna definitely ask her thoughts on how people kind of switched up on her and things about that, about her words about Valentina. You know, we definitely gonna talk about that, man. And you know, I just want to talk to her and let her know, people, look, goals are important in MMA. You know, his career ain't forever. And BJ, I gotta ask her how she's going to dominate this fight too. Is it going to be the striking, or is it going to be her submission game? Okay, yeah. So everybody agrees on that. Everybody pretty much, yeah. Whaley versus Rose is a main event. Yeah. Yeah, Whaley's ruthless, man. I still have it 50-50. I'm not doing a prediction until the fight's announced official. I don't know if y'all noticed, Maverick be looking like she stay ready too, like physically too, man. Like, you ever see her arms? Like the last time I interviewed her, man, you could just see it in her arms, man, too. So, like, physically, yeah, she's always got the guns out. So, all right. So yeah, I did about an hour and a half on here. You know, we got a chance to talk about everything, but let me see. I'll probably be back on like maybe Monday or Tuesday, like early evening, like around 5 o'clock on the road. I know I'll be making noise while I'm on the road, but yeah, that's how I do on those days. But yeah, I'll probably come through maybe Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, BJ, I'm gonna tune in tomorrow. I'm assuming you're doing it, tomorrow late night. So yeah, I'll be tuned in. But yeah, y'all, thanks for coming through, everybody in the chat, everybody that comes through, comments and puts in their 2 cents or 25 cents, whatever. Make sure y'all subscribe like always. And yeah, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Combo Breaker 99, I am out. Peace.